Well, hi, this is Crystal, and welcome to my channel. If you're a new subscriber, I know I have a few new subs that haven't seen me come out with a new video yet. So, this is going to be my breakdown of Doja Cat. And it's like the first time I didn't even know who this person was until Tamara she has the Truth channel that has like she's a really good editor and she's really smart about a lot of things. But she showed this clip from their song Rules, and she said, "You look at me like I'm ill." She said, bitch, I'm a effing reptilian." And then I was like, wow, like, who is this? Because right away I could tell just by looking at them that it's like the skin will look too clear, like where there's no pores, and the whites, the eyes will look too light. See this picture here, this is taken from before they were cloned out. And I'm going to go through everything. It's going to take me a long time because I've got a lot to cover, but if I need to like take a break for a second, I'll just pause it. So anyways, like a week ago I posted this here. And this is from their video called Go to Town. It's about going downtown. But I mean, it starts out with them like this in this cat mask, and it's like the energy coming out of the eyes is just so masculine. It's like there's such thing as a male gaze. It's like females will have a more gentle sort of look in the eyes, and males have usually a more intense sort of look, and that's exactly what you get right here. Then right away you notice the shoulders here. They got wide shoulders, and then this is a classic textbook male collarbone. This is how a male collarbone looks right here. Okay, it goes straight across, horizontal, all the way to the edge of the shoulder, just like this, and it protrudes. And also on a male, and this individual has a rather large skull, and you'll see that later on in some of the later pictures. But yes, on a male, you can fit 3 head widths on the shoulders. And you could do that here. You could fit another head here and here. That's how wide that the shoulders will be. And they're T-shaped. See how they go straight across? And then the clavicle, the collarbone on a male will go straight across, horizontal. And it protruding all the way to the edge, just like this. But that male gaze, it just doesn't lie. Like, it just jumped out at me. And then this video, oh my gosh, it's like their videos, their music, it has like the catchiest, I guess, melody or the instrumentals in the background. And it's just a really catchy song. And it's hilarious. Like, it's called Go to Town, though. But I just put up here what I wrote like a week ago. I'm just going to go ahead and read it in case y'all hadn't seen it yet. This here isn't looking too good for Mr. Cat. I'm taking a look at them. The music videos are quite comical to me. No kidding. It's like, especially this one. It's just, I don't know. It had me laughing several times. I think that their extremely flamboyant nature and ridiculous over-the-top lyrics are pretty telling. Okay? Why would a real woman talk about their P word, okay, so much? It comes across vulgar. Really aggressive personality, like other similar characters like Nicki Minaj or Cardi or Megan the Male Horse. And in case y'all didn't know, Stallion means a male horse, and they didn't name them that for no reason. Basically, for anybody, if they're portraying a female on the masses, they have to be reverse gender to get upper level famous. They just have to be. It's like, I know somebody that I've actually hung out with before at the bar, and she was singing karaoke. And it's like, I got goosebumps when she was singing because she was that good. And it's like, she was friends with my like ex best friend. And then it's like, I was there with the guy I was seeing at the time, and then she showed up and then sat with us because it's like she knew him, and then she knew that I was my ex best friend's friend. And so it's like she sang like better than like Mariah Carey or Beyonce. Like, seriously. And she ended up making a song with Slim Thug. And I looked at that song today, and it has 50,000 views. And it's like posted 4 years ago. It's like, are you serious? But no, it's like, I had to warn her about, I was like, you have to sell your soul. First off, to get fame, I was like, you don't really want to be famous because you have to sell your soul. And what that means is like giving your DNA. But I'll get to that. But I told her, like, they have to give sacrifices and do satanic rituals. And above all, like, usually they have to be from the bloodline, but not always. But it's like, if they're portraying a female on the masses, they have to be switched up. And it's like, this woman was beautiful and very talented. Like, I don't think she could have been, like, I don't think she could have been any better of a singer, really. Like, just extremely talented, but not a switch up. And so, even though she had a song with a famous rap artist, it's like the major networks wouldn't give it any airtime. And so, you know, there's a glass ceiling with this, with getting famous. And it's really, really real. Now, I have like transvestigated, and I found a couple real men, and those are Dolph Lundgren, and I looked at Billy Idol really closely. Like, they were in concert, and they had like pants that were low cut, and so I could see the musculature and the skeleton, like the skeletal frame, and I could see all the markers. And so those are the two guys so far that I've found that I'm like 100% sure they're real men. And I know there's more. Sometimes they will let a real man get famous, but excuse me, but not with the females. They might get famous to a certain extent, like for example, like Lori on Truthful Spirit, Blue Heron channel. It's like she had been on soap operas and was a stage performer and got fairly successful. Like, she was on TV, like on a soap opera and on different things. But there was a glass ceiling there for her too, because it's like the cabal, basically, the Freemasonic, Zionist, Kabbalistic, Luciferian occultist, they run the TV and movies and music industries, like any industry that you can think of, even Christian music, believe it or not. Any industry is run by the cabal, and they worship Satan. So, and Satanists worship the Baphomet, and it's a goat god that has boobs and a penis both. It's like a transgender. It's like a what's the word? That word escapes my mind right now, but I'll probably think of it later. when I'm trying to cover something else. So I'm gonna just pass that up for the moment. But yes, just right here. I could have said done and dusted right here, but I'm gonna go on and cover all of it. Okay. And my photos are out of order, but okay, I'll skip to this right here. This was like one of their first songs, and they're wearing a cow suit, and it's like they're eating burgers and twerking and drinking milkshakes, and she just says, "Bitch, I'm a cow. Bitch, I'm a cow. I'm not a cat. I don't say meow." All this stuff. But I mean, even right here, okay? This song is freaking hilarious. It's like, this is before they were cloned out, though. Definitely. This was a real human being right here. And it's just, they look kind of bored right there. They have a kind of like whatever sort of look in their eye, but they don't look cloned out. And I'll show you the difference in a minute. But even right here, it's like, if you just lose the wig or the weave right here, is a man face. And it's like, they have a pointier chin, but males can have a pointier chin. Okay. Large skull in general. They do have a brow ridge, and there's other photos later that show it really well, but they have deeply set eyes, and the eyes are wide set, like further apart. On females, their eyes are set a little bit closer together. And they have prominent cheekbones, and they also have a wide and a big mouth and large teeth. And their forehead does slope back, but you can't see it really. You can't see it from the angle of this photo, but what you can see is these collarbones. They're protruding. In the past, I had a photo that I would use, and it was when I was in swim team. I was on like the varsity swim team, senior year of high school. And I was swimming in the morning from 6 till 8 in the morning. And then I was on like a private league swim team just for the practices. And I swam 2 hours then. So I was working out 4 hours a day. And yet, and I was lifting weights several days a week. But still, it's like on that picture, which I don't have right here, but I'm just going to describe it. It's like my collarbones barely showed. And on a female, the collarbones will kind of start lower, and they'll V up towards the edge of the shoulder, but they'll end before the edge of the shoulder. But on this person, we already seen the collarbones go horizontal. They protrude, and then they go horizontal all the way to the edge. And just really, if you just took away, it's not hard to see that this is a man. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. It's a man face, and it's male energy in the eyes there. Now they do, like earlier on, their music was just like quirky and funny and more lighthearted and comical in this video. That's the one I was talking about, the Go to Town video. And they were not cloned out yet in this video. And I've got a side-by-side photo in here in this album, and I'll show it to y'all, but you'll be able to see how it's like they're in this video. Just if you go and watch it, they have just expression behind the eyes that's not demonic. It's like they have a soul in there in this video. They were not imposterized yet. What do I see in this picture? A long humerus bone. And then their back, it's like females have a curve in the back, but it's like it'll curve kind of actually out from the neck, out a little bit, And then around the bra line, it'll curve in and then it'll flare back out. Like, above the rear. Like it curves in and out on a female, on a real female. And that's, to offset the weight of the baby if you're pregnant and carrying a baby, so you don't break your back. But this here is a flat back because it goes flat right to the butt. Males will have it, their back will be straight and flat all the way down, and then they'll have a little bit of curve right above the rear, which is what she has. So, and everything's out of order, but it's like I want to keep it in order. Okay, here, this is a photo from that video there. And you can see, if you just look in the eyes and the face, like they have expression. It's like they have a soul in there. They just do. It's like I can't really put it into words exactly how to see that, but I mean, later you'll see, once I have it side by side, you'll see the difference. Which is, their music was lighthearted and quirky and funny, and it's like, yeah, they were vulgar, using vulgar words, but they weren't, it wasn't so demonic. Like, it's like their music just got their rapping got faster, and it got meaner and just darker. Like here, okay? Cloning, okay? Before and after. Let's see. Let me get this little ticker here out of the way. Okay. I mean, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? It's not the same person, okay? Look at this. Like, what is this? And it's like, yeah, on this video, that's the rules video where they were saying they're a reptilian. And then people, it's like, okay, what a clone is that, okay, with this person right here, they took she's DNA, okay? It's like, I think whenever they sign that contract, they have to sign in blood and sign away they have to sell their soul. But whenever they sign that contract, I think they have to give up their DNA probably right then or directly after that. And so, what I've heard is that, well, they'll make them do like rituals, satanic rituals and sacrifices, and drink blood and eat poo, and they do terrible, like, torture babies. Like, they do terrible, terrible things. And if these famous people that have already signed away, if they're not willing to do those things, or let's say their record label wants them to rap about something and it's like it's not their style, or it goes against their conscience, well, if they don't do exactly what they're told, they're going to use that DNA. They're also going to take like an encephalogram scan of their brain. And what that does is it forms a holographic image, and they have the technology, and this is fallen angel technology, okay? This is not, humans didn't come up with this. It's like, we don't have the, it's like the fallen angels have way high level advanced intelligence, more than regular humans do. Like, even in the Bible, it says how the fallen angels taught the people about, like, making weapons of war, about like decorating their eyelids, meaning makeup, about making jewelry, about like the cosmology and the zodiac and all that stuff. It's like they taught humans how to do all that stuff. And so it's like, that's how civilization advanced back then. is because the fallen angels taught the human beings like all this stuff that God didn't want them to know. And so this cloning here is fallen angel technology, but it's flawed. It doesn't even look like the same person. But I don't want to get sidetracked here. So he, she, right here, you know, sign their name in blood. They sign their contract, whatever. And it's like their music was kind of funny and silly and vulgar, but quirky and catchy. And it was more lighthearted. And so they may have told her, like, we want you to rap about this, or we want you to do this in your video, or we want you to do this. And maybe she was uncomfortable with that. So at that point, if she said no, and evidently she did, at some, because, you know, or maybe they told her that you have to sacrifice one of your family members. And it's like they want a member of the immediate family. That's how they work. It's like they don't, people like sign away their soul for fame and just for money and for fame. But the cost is so high. And it's like, in the end, they're going to end up being a sacrifice, or they're going to have to kill off all of their loved ones. So this person here wasn't willing to do something that they wanted them to do. And so they took their DNA, took a brain scan. They're actually able to put the info, the consciousness, basically, like all of your thoughts and dreams, like all your talents, like everything that would be in your mind can be put on a chip. And they grow this abomination body here. They grow that in a tube of water in a cloning center. And they use their DNA, and then they put an electrical charge on it, like to accelerate it. And it's fallen angel technology, but they're able to grow a body from this person's DNA. And then they've already scanned their brain. So anything that they knew up to that point would be saved. And it's there on the chip. And they put the chip in the head of this robotoid. And that's what that is. And look at this. Look at these pupils. Like, look at these eyes. I know people in the comments tried to say, like, I looked in the comments under the video, and they tried to say that, oh, isn't that cool? How when she said she's reptilian, they made her eyes look like a cat. I was thinking, oh, Lord, it's not like a cat. It's like what? And then these bodies that they grow in the lab, they don't have a soul, because you can't grow a soul in a lab. And so demonic spirits step in and animate this. And that's why it manifests this way. And I believe whenever they said, bitch, I'm a reptilian, I believe whenever they said that the demon actually caused their eyes to shift on cue, because they wanted them to. So that's what I feel about that. But if y'all get a chance, watch this video, that go to town video. It'll make you laugh. This here is sad. Just the demonic energy is just so incredibly strong coming out of this person. It's like and if you watch the video for rules, it's like they're aggressive. They're like mean, hateful. Like, it's nothing like this person. That person's more like quirky and happy-go-lucky. It's nothing like the result down there. Like, here's the thumbnail from that. You know? Now look at this, okay? Remember this. Now, look at this. Like, what the hell is that? You know? Their pupils aren't slit right at the moment, but they don't have to be every moment. But if you look, the whites of the eyes, like, one way to spot a clone is you'll see the whites of the eyes will have no capillary. Like, you'll be able to see it. They'll be too white and you won't be able to see any capillaries at all. And just look how they look bug-eyed. They look psychotic and evil, possessed, because that is what animates a clone. And what I'm seeing here is they have really big hands, long fingers, and deep set eyes, and wide set eyes, and just a wide mouth. Because I'm not just doing cloning exposure, I'm doing transvestigation exposure as well. Oh gosh, that WAP. Don't get me started on that. I'll get to that later. I need to come back up here. Here. This was Doja Cat reacting to people reacting to her. That song is actually called Moo, but it's like she's in a cow suit saying, "Bitch, I'm a cow." But no, it's like, see, it's like she's laughing and just I watched this whole video, like her reaction to these people reacting to her video, and it's like you could tell that this was a human being. Yes, it is a switch up, but it's a human. It's like, why? It's just sad. It's like, why couldn't they have just left her alone? She's really entertaining. It's like, I think like she's a better rapper than any of these others. Like, it puts Cardi to shame. And then Megan, the male horse, is like, ew, you know? And also, I think she's even better than Nicki Minaj, too. But, in this picture, it's like, you see wide shoulders. And this person almost fooled me at first. Like, when I saw the video for Rules, when they're wearing that purple suit, it looks like they're dressed like a pimp, like with in purple, in like royal purple. But it's like, I thought, wow, their shoulders look so tiny, but they're not. It's just they have the hips and the ass built up with so much silicone that it dwarfs the shoulders in that case. But yeah, it's just you could still fit 3 head widths on these shoulders, and they are straight across. Okay. It's like, I think I might just need to go back up to the top. Because there's so much. And if I don't, I'm just going to be... Okay. This is the Go to Town video. And you can see a lot right here from this photo right here. Okay. Let me get in closer here. Okay. Now, some of you might think, well, there's a Q angle. And it's like, no, all of this hip is add-on, slap-on, silicone, or injection, or whatever they did. And I'll prove it as I go. Okay? They still even have a male gaze in this, even though you can't see the eyes all the way. They just have this dominant kind of, it's more of a dominant kind of aggressive tone to themselves. Wide shoulders, okay? There's a collarbone going straight out to the edge. And in some photos that I've got, they'll be bending a little bit, but it's straight across T-shaped shoulders. The shoulders are wider than the real hips. And I'll prove that in just a minute. Because I have a photo that proves, because you can see the hips, and then you can see all this slap-on extra surgery stuff on the side. And it's like, whenever they try to build up the hips on a transgender person like this, it's like the hips end up being too low. It's like on a female, it's totally out of proportion. It's like they slap on all this, they try to make this wider than the shoulders. And it's similar to what they did to Kim Kardashian and and Kylie Jenner. Exact same sort of physique here. But yeah, wide shoulders. Look at this humerus bone. Long. That's long there. Males have a longer humerus bone, which is the bone that goes from your shoulder to your elbow. Yeah, but long arms. And then the arms will be, like females' arms, like my hands, my arms. Like if I put my hand straight down, if I'm standing up, my hand reaches like right to crotch level and no more. Like right here, I'd say crotch level is there. And then the hand, they got their hand even out to the side some, and their hand is like crotch level's there. The hands are down here. They're down there. That is consistent with being a male because males have longer arms proportionally. And they have a straight up and down torso, which you're thinking, oh, there's curves. But no, it's not curves, and it's like it's out of proportion. Also, they keep their navel covered up most of the time. And it's because males have a high navel. And they don't like to show it to you because then it helps give them away. So they like to make it where you, because they know there's people like me that are looking for this. So it's like they like to keep it covered up so you can't tell where the navel is, so that you'll think this is just natural, but no, this is anything but natural. Like if you imagine just take off all this slap on, they're a straight up and down man, and they would be in a slender one as well. Like all of this is add on. That round butt that they have, the big butt, is add on. They may have had a certain level of a roundness of their butt or whatever beforehand, but this is not a Q angle, okay? This is slap on. All of this. Whoops. Like if you carved from here through there, that's all the add on. So, I'm going to move on. What is there to see here? I mean, they just said they have big hands and long fingers, and then you see the straight across shoulders again. That one's similar to the last. I can't dwell too long on it. Okay, here we go. This. Okay. You can see the square jawline as well. And they have their brow bone. It's like they don't have a severely sloping back forehead. But in melanated people, a lot of times, it's like they're like in Caucasian people, they'll have a brow ridge where it's like on males, the brow will actually protrude like right at the eyebrow area, and then the forehead will slope backwards. But on melanated people, it's like they'll have more of just like a thickening of the skull kind of right here. And that's what you see here. It reminds me of Meghan Markle, how their skull looks. It's like a thickening of the skull. And their eyes are deep set back. And it's a male look in the eyes again if you pay close attention. But, okay, now here, it's like on a female, the belly button's lower. And then the waist goes in, like, it would go in like about 3 inches above the belly button. On men, their pelvis ends about 2 to 3 inches below the belly button, but they have it covered. You can't see it. So, anyways, it's like you can see though, like the hips are ending here, and then this rest of this is add-on. And so it's like, and they're lanky, long arms, deep set eyes, prominent cheekbones. And they do have a square jawline. It looks curvy kind of right there, but I have other photos that that you can see it's squared. And just male gaze again. Okay. Let me, whoop. Nope. Okay. Also on males, the rib cage is like more pronounced and larger. And it's like their ribs go down really low and they're sticking out. But I don't, like, if you just imagine, if you just took this off, this is add-on. This is add-on here. Big rib cage, lanky arms, there's thickening of the brow, deep set eyes, widely set eyes, large, wide mouth, large skull and head in general. And look, it's like the hips are ending, they're covering up their Adonis belt too. Which on this person, I don't even think that you'd be able to see the Adonis belt even if they were naked, because there's so much slap on. And on a clone, it's like those are grown from DNA. It's like but then part of the inside of it is like mechanical parts. So they can put slap on parts, slap on silicone, built up ass and thighs and fake hips. Look how low these hips are though. It's like on the female, it's like their hips would be wide up here. It's way too low. It's like low. It's down there. It's totally disproportionate to how it would be on a female. Totally. And it's like you can see kind of creases and indents here. But yeah, I'm seeing the rib cage for sure. And the size of the skull. Okay. Yeah, I wish I knew how to edit. That's something I need to learn how to do. Let's look at the male gaze again. This was at the beginning of that video. Look into those eyes and just be honest with yourself. What kind of energy do you feel from this person? And if you're honest with yourself, you'll be saying, like, the energy of, like, I feel like the energy of, like, a kind of squirrely, I don't know, like I felt energy of a gay man. But they switched these people up. So, I mean, that's to be expected. Now, this looks sad. They look sad in their eyes right here. But no, look at it. Look at into the eyes. And it's like you have instincts and like an intuition, like a sixth sense. It'll tell you that you're looking at a man. Look at that look. It's like a seductive, kind of has that aggressive tone to it. That's a male gaze. This is textbook right here. Male gaze. 10 billion% right there. And that video, they're so over the top. This is before they were cloned though. It's like there's sadness in the eyes though. Like, I don't know if they feel like they're having to do things that are hurting their sense of pride or their dignity. But, I mean, I don't know. If I was forced to do that, to dress like this with makeup on and stuff, I would feel like it hurt my soul a little bit. It looks like a hurting soul in there too, but it's also a male gaze. And it's like, I'm not anti-trans. I just want to put that out there. I'm not anti-trans or anti-LGBT, you know. I'm not. Like, my daughter has a girlfriend, and she's been with her for almost 2 years. It's like, she's a nice girl. It's like, I love my daughter, and it's like, I respect, that's just her orientation. That's her sexual orientation, you know. I'm not, and if someone is trans and they're not deceiving people with it, then I respect them too. But I don't respect this. I don't respect this. Because this is a deceiver. And so that's why they have to be exposed. Now, let me go. Okay, I'm done there. This here, this is from that video for rules. And it's just really, see how it got more satanic? It's like, this is from the one where they were talking about they're a reptilian. Okay? Now, look at this jawline. It comes up, and then right there, it goes up. It's square, like it comes down and then comes across. It's like squared, more like a box. And just large skull. And just, they have such aggressive energy, which you can't really see. But yeah, they had just a snake crawling all over them. But it's like this song, it's like their songs got more vicious and vulgar. Definitely. After they were imposterized. This right here looks like it might be before they were cloned out. Possibly. But you know, those, like, they grow these bodies in a lab, like underground in the cloning lab, and they're flawed. It's like Satan can't perfectly like reproduce. He can't he just mimics God's creation. Is flawed. So it's like the clone bodies, they give out after a certain amount of time. Like, they break down quickly because something to do with their metabolism. It's like they'll bleed. It's like they can eat and drink and pee and poo and everything, but it's like they break down like quickly, like depending on how much they're used. So it's like if there was one out there doing like gymnastics or something, it's like they could break down. It's like because there's machinery on the inside. And I'm not saying on this one, I'm not really sure about this one. Like, it's like, yeah, the whites of the eyes are looking too white. No capillaries. And they kind of have a vacant stare in the eyes. So this might be earlier generation clone, but it's like, yeah, the closer I looked, it looks like clone eyes. Wide set eyes, okay? Thickening of the brow area. That's a male-shaped hairline, but I mean, they got a wig, or they have something going. I think a wig. But and they've had, I think, work on the jawline, but it's like on a clone, they can do, like, they can make them look however they want. It's like they grow them with the DNA and they can tweak them to their liking. But wide mouth, large teeth, shockingly white, whites of the eyes, and lost look in the eyes. It's like you'll be able to tell when it's a clone because there's no soul in there. They're kind of twisting up on the shoulders, but it's still straight across shoulders, okay? And then the clavicle, the collarbone, it goes straight across, horizontal, out all the way to the edge. And on this side, it's straight and flat and horizontal all the way to the end. And you can see long humerus bone. That is a male trait. Could there be a female that has a long humerus bone? Sure, like if they're tall. If they're like extremely tall, but it's like the shape of these shoulders, you can fit 3 widths of the head. If you took the head, you could put a head over here and another head over here. And females, you should only be able to fit about 2.5 head widths on the shoulders. And the female shoulders will slope downward. These are straight across, with straight across collarbones. And this is typical. You'll see these switched up, quote unquote, female stars, like with anything to cover up the neck, like chokers, dog collars, like you name it. Okay, let's see. Okay, here's a picture that I found on Instagram. And they're wearing diamond shapes on the earrings. And diamond is 33 in numerology, like in gematria. And that's a Masonic shout out. Okay. Let me zoom back out a little bit. Okay. So, what do I see in this picture? I see thickening of the brow big time. Big, thick brow here. Large skull. Wide mouth. Wide set eyes. They could have had a chin implant. Like males will usually have more square of a chin. But it's like they could have had a more pointier chin from the beginning. That's not a marker that is a make or break as far as I'm concerned if I'm breaking someone down. This collarbone here, though, it's protruding. Look how it's protruding up. It's just massive collarbone protruding up, and it goes to the edge. And once again over here. I'm not seeing anything in the neck right now, but there's later pictures where I do. So, they're just a strong looking person. That collarbone right there could poke your eye out though. And it's like they kind of look synthetic in this picture too. It's sad. But you'll notice with any of these stars, it's like whenever after they've been cloned, it's like they look different. And I saw it in the comments in a bunch of videos. They say like Doja looked better in 2018 than they do now. And it's like, well, wow, I wonder why that is. Maybe because they're dead, because they got replaced. And then also in the videos, they'll use the synthetic, like the imposter, the robotoid, they'll use them, and it carries all of the victims' talents, and it carries like their voice, their like it's just it's just demons that step in to animate the flesh suit, and then they're mimicking. It's like they're playing a part, deceiving people, but they mock the dead. It's like they mock the victim while using a DNA duplicate of their body. It's really sick what they do. Let me see. Okay, I've covered all these up here. Now, okay. Now, those hips, the widest part of the hips is right here. It's too low. It's just too low. And so the crotch would be about there. The navel's way up there. That's a high navel. Okay. And then they know that she's got these extremely prominent and protruding collarbones. So they like to keep her in long hair to keep them covered up. But we got hand on the hip. They don't usually ever wear anything that's showing their, it's like hand on the hip. A lot of times they'll do that. The male to female trans genders will put their hand on their hip because they're trying to cover up their Adonis belt. And that's the bone in the, because the male's hips end like around here. They end like 2 or 3 inches below the navel. And so they'll, a lot of times you'll see them put hand on the hip. And it's like they're leaning, trying to produce a curve here, but that's an illusion. But what am I seeing? Let's just, I'll go down the line from the top. Okay, large head, okay? The eyes are deep set back. They're widely set. There's a thickening of the brow here. There's just a large skull in general with this. You can see the square jawline good in this picture. It's like it could be a chin implant, but yeah, male energy coming from the eyes again. Like just imagine that all this slap on, just like put your hand over this, over like the body, and just imagine all the slap on stuff wasn't there, and imagine this wig was gone. And what would you have? You would have the face and the gaze in the eyes of a man. Wide, big mouth. Prominent collarbones. They are sticking up and they're going out to the edge. And they got it covered here strategically with the long weave hair. And then wide shoulders that could fit 3 head widths. 1, 2, 3. It could fit 3. And okay, crotch levels here. Now, all this slap on stuff, all of this added on stuff on the sides, okay, is going to make their hand not go down. Like, all this takes up extra space. So it's going to make their hand not go as far down on the leg as it would have. But there's a crotch and the hand's down here. And if the slap on stuff wasn't there and it was flat, then their hand could lay flat against their leg and it would be further down here. So, yeah. Plus, they are doing, this is the transgender pose. It's like the X pose. They're crossing their legs with an X, like this. Some people have speculated it could be because they're tucking and they're trying to just tuck and hold it all in. But it's just, I think they do this to try to create the illusion of a hip or of a Q angle. Because look, if you just look at this, a Q angle, okay. It's like I have to remember to explain this stuff in case people are new. But yeah, a Q angle is on males, the femur bone, it inserts into the pelvis like almost vertically. So it'd be like almost straight down. On a female, the femur inserts at an angle like out to the edge, and then it angles in down towards the knee. So that's what they're trying. They're trying to fake the appearance of having a Q angle like a female would, but they're crossing their legs. And it's only the transgenders that stand like this with one leg lobbed over the other like that. It's really it's uncomfortable to stand that way. It's like I tried to stand that way and I almost tripped and fell over because it's not like it, that's like next to impossible for a female to stand that way. But they will stand that way and just hold it with the legs crossed. But yeah, it's one leg lobbed over the other to try to make the look of a Q angle and of hips. But they also have slap-on silicone additions and long feet, but big hands too. And it's like their humerus bone is long as well. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, this was a good image here. So you're seeing some prominent trachea in the neck. Okay, because males will have a more prominent trachea, but in these male to females, most of the time, they'll shave down the Adam's apple. It's called a tracheal shave. But they'll shave it down so that it's not with a double prong sticking out, because that's like a pretty quick giveaway that it's a dude. Like Megan Fox is one of those that has like the double prong Adam's apple, and it's like, it's so obvious. But I got a request for that person, so I'm probably going to be doing that video later on. But okay, back to, I don't want to get sidetracked. Right here you can see that the jawbone, like, it comes down straight and then at a 90-degree angle straight across, like a box, like squared. Prominent trachea, wide shoulders, just large skull. And you can see the sloping back forehead in this one from the angle they're at. But yeah, they've got shoulders like a linebacker. Okay, here's the crotch, okay? The hands are down here. A female's hand should end thereabouts of the crotch. You know, like around crotch length. Because you've got to remember, all of this is added on. So if you took all this away, that arm would be sitting about there. They've got really long arms and big hands and fake curves. And then the hips they're just too low. If you just considered not the slap-on part and just look at the leg, it's like, it makes sense. They don't have a Q angle. This is faked. It's an illusion. Okay. One of my subs told me about this, talking about the back. But even in this picture, it's like, I explained about the curve of the back before. But right here is just a board and straight flat back. Then they have like it's a corseted dress. Then all the slap-on stuff begins. But they don't have extremely wide shoulders, but they're wide enough to fit 3 head widths. So that's all that matters. And look at this humerus bone. That's long. Okay. Here was a good example of, well, the BBL, Brazilian butt lift. Like, they have enhanced the butt. Okay, you can tell right here there's no curve until right there. Right there's the curve. Right above the bogus rear here. Long, extremely long humerus bone. Flat back. And, let's get closer here. A really large skull. Like, let's just be honest. They got a huge head for supposed to be a female. It's like, it's not. It's like this skull tells on them. Okay, thickening of the brow and the skull right here, and then the eyes are set back, and there's prominent cheekbones, because males have more prominent cheekbones. And it's like, I think they've done a little bit of a shave on the jaw, but not so severe where you can't still see that it's squared. And I just see far apart eyes and a large mouth and a large skull and a flat back. There is the curve. That's where the back curves, and that's the only place where it curves. This was like a MTV VMA Awards video. I started watching it, and I thought, wow, I could probably get all of the photos I need for this entire breakdown just off of this one video. It's really crazy. Okay. In this photo, it just looks like, look at the face. And look at the size. Like, the mouth is really wide. Okay. Females have a more narrow dental palate. Like your teeth. Your palate is more narrow and a smaller mouth. Males have larger teeth like this. They have a wider mouth, and this character has a really wide mouth. And they have wide set eyes and prominent cheekbones. And possibly a chin implant, but they still have squared jawbone. They've done a pretty good job on this person though of not having anything in the neck. It's rare that you find the trachea. So, but in any case, it's like they're just large skull, and it just looks like a man in a wig and makeup. It looks like a flamboyant drag show. Doesn't look feminine at all. Okay. Can y'all start to see the man in here? Look at this. The huge skull. And this, you can see it really well. Brow ridge. And that is, on males, there's a protrusion at the eyebrow line. It protrudes here. Look how deeply set back into the skull the eyes are. And look at the expression on the face. Looks really demonic. Cloned, okay? Wide shoulders. They're just bending a little bit right there. But yeah, the clavicles go out to the edge. And long humerus bone, once again. Male gaze. No matter what this character does, they're always going to have that male gaze, and it just gives them away so easy, in my opinion. Excuse me. Okay, what did I see in this? I see an extremely long humerus bone, and the hand looks weird right there, but I'm not dealing with that right now. And then it looks like a jawline that's been worked on a little bit. But yeah, just because somebody has built up hips and ass, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily real. Especially if they're famous, because we already know, like I've told y'all, and you can test it yourself. Like, you will not see, you won't see a real female. I lost my train of thought. Wow, I lost my train of thought on this one. Just long humerus bone. I'm just gonna try to regroup mentally here. This is crazy. I couldn't think of what I was. It's like I forgot what I was talking about. Just prominent cheekbone and large head. And the hand looks strange there, but they're moving, so yeah. That's gonna bother me that I can't remember what I was talking about. Okay, here we go with the big, there's some hard markers here, okay? Right here. Large skull. T-shaped, straight across, wide shoulders. It's just a strong man back with no curve in it. Long, long humerus bone. Okay. Here's another angle. And once again, it's like even from the side, it just looks like a man face. Like they put a ton of weave on a man and put a slap-on ass on a man. Then this is what you get. But they have a bored, straight, flat back all the way down to the rear. But yeah, their humerus bones are just so long. always. Long uterus bone. Let me see. Large skull. Okay. Now they have a little bit of a brow ridge. But like I said, in black people, melanated people, or like mixed people, like what I assume that she is, they're not going to have an extremely protruding brow bone, and sloping back forehead. Like this is, a black male's forehead can look like this. And then right here, you can see the jawbone comes down straight, and it goes straight across at a 90-degree angle. That is consistent with male. And the size of that head, you just have a really large head and a really long humerus bone. All right, I'm going to pause for a second